Always be silent in 10 situations. Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism. Have you ever found yourself in a heated argument, only to later wish you had just kept quiet? Or maybe you've witnessed someone completely dominate a room without saying a word, leaving everyone intrigued and hanging on their every move. Here's the twist: silence can be louder than any speech, sharper than any witty comeback, and stronger than any argument. Welcome back to Victory Stoic, where we uncover ancient wisdom to help you handle modern chaos. Today, we're diving into something unexpected: the art of doing nothing, or rather, the strategic brilliance of saying nothing. Yes, you heard that right. We're talking about the superpower you never knew you had: silence. But don't confuse this with passivity. Silence is far from being a retreat, it's a power play. It's the secret weapon of the wise, the calm in the storm, and, dare I say, the ultimate mic drop. When used deliberately, silence can diffuse conflicts, deepen connections, and transform how others perceive you. So, if you've ever been curious about when to bite your tongue, how to exude quiet confidence, or why Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca swore by silence, you're in the right place. Before we get started, here's a meaningful challenge for you. Watch this video from start to finish, absorb its teachings, and apply them to your life over the next week. Then, return to share your results. Drop a "go with the flow" in the comments to commit to this journey and discover the powerful insight Stoic philosophy offers. Ready to uncover the 10 moments where silence isn't just golden, it's transformative. Let's dive in and unlock this timeless wisdom. 1. When emotions cloud your judgment. Emotions are powerful, often shaping how we perceive and react to the world. However, they can sometimes cloud our judgment, leading us to act impulsively in ways we might regret. Marcus Aurelius captured this wisdom when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When we let emotions take the reins, we risk losing control over our actions. Anger, frustration, or even excitement can push us toward rash decisions, while silence provides a much-needed pause, a moment to gather ourselves and think more clearly. Real-life example: handling criticism. Imagine being criticized harshly at work. The natural response might be to defend yourself immediately, perhaps even snapping back. But reacting in the heat of the moment can worsen the situation. Instead, staying silent gives you time to process the feedback and respond thoughtfully later. For instance, you could say, "Thank you for the input. I'll consider this and get back to you." The role of silence in relationships. In personal relationships, silence can be just as powerful. During an argument with a loved one, you might feel tempted to retaliate with hurtful words. However, a moment of silence can allow you to reflect on the bigger picture, prioritizing the relationship over the temporary need to win. Practical tips. Breathe deeply. A few deep breaths can help calm intense emotions. Pause before speaking. Count to 10 to regain composure. Reflect later. Spend time journaling or meditating to understand the root of your emotions. Why this matters. Silence doesn't mean avoiding your emotions. It means creating a buffer between feeling and action. By practicing this pause, you not only prevent conflicts but also demonstrate emotional intelligence and strength. Marcus Aurelius likened emotional resilience to a cliff standing firm against crashing waves, solid, unshaken, and enduring. When emotions cloud your judgment, remember, silence is not weakness, it's a shield that allows you to act with wisdom and clarity. 2. When others seek to provoke you. We've all faced moments where someone deliberately tries to provoke us, be it through sarcasm, unfair criticism, or outright insults. These situations can feel like a test of our emotional resilience. Epictetus reminds us, when someone irritates you, realize that it is your mind that consents to being irritated. This wisdom challenges us to see provocations not as personal attacks but as opportunities to master our reactions. Silence, in these moments, isn't a sign of defeat, it's a display of strength and control. By refusing to engage, you maintain your composure and take away the power from those seeking a reaction. Real-life example: handling workplace tensions. Imagine a colleague making dismissive comments during a team meeting, subtly undermining your ideas. Your immediate instinct might be to defend yourself, escalating the tension. Instead, by remaining silent and composed, you demonstrate confidence. Over time, this behavior builds a reputation for maturity, making it clear that you won't stoop to unnecessary conflict. Romantic and familial relationships. In personal relationships, provocations can hit closer to home. Picture an argument with your partner. They might say something intentionally hurtful in the heat of the moment. Responding with silence, paired with calm body language, gives you the upper hand in diffusing the situation. It communicates that you're focused on resolution rather than retaliation. Practical tips. Pause and reflect. Before reacting, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, will my response escalate or resolve this? Master detachment. Visualize the provocation as an external event that doesn't define you. Choose later responses. If necessary, address the issue later when emotions have settled. Calm, measured responses carry far more weight. Why this matters? Provocation is often an invitation to lose control. By refusing to engage, you assert dominance over your own emotions. Silence sends a clear message: you're not easily shaken. Over time, this approach earns you respect and teaches others that their attempts at provocation are futile. Free, when you're unsure of the truth. Uncertainty is a natural part of life, but how we handle it can profoundly impact our relationships and reputation. Speaking without knowing the truth can spread misinformation, create misunderstandings, or even damage trust. Silence, on the other hand, shows restraint, wisdom, and a commitment to authenticity. The wisdom of silence in uncertainty. Marcus Aurelius taught, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This simple yet profound statement reminds us to prioritize truth over urgency. Stoicism encourages us to be cautious with our words, recognizing that once spoken, they cannot be taken back. By choosing silence when unsure, you avoid unnecessary harm and demonstrate integrity. Silence in romantic relationships. Uncertainty often surfaces in relationships, particularly when emotions run high. Imagine you've started dating someone new, and they ask, "Where do you see this going?" If you're unsure, the pressure to respond immediately might lead you to say something misleading. Instead, pausing and saying, "I'd like to take some time to think about that," reflects maturity. It shows that you value their feelings and want to respond thoughtfully, not impulsively. Here's another scenario. A partner might accuse you of neglecting their needs, but you're unsure if this is entirely true. Defensiveness might lead you to argue, escalating the tension. Instead, remaining silent initially and listening intently allows you to process their words. Later, after reflection, you can engage in a meaningful conversation that prioritizes resolution over winning the argument. Seneca's words echo here: speech is the mirror of the mind. Let your silence reflect a thoughtful mind, one that seeks to understand before reacting. Silence in everyday interactions. This principle extends to other areas of life, such as friendships and professional relationships. Imagine a friend sharing a rumor about someone you both know. Rather than immediately reacting or spreading the story further, silence buys you time to verify the facts. In doing so, you avoid contributing to gossip and maintain your credibility. In a professional setting, consider being asked a challenging question during a meeting. You might feel the pressure to provide an immediate answer to appear knowledgeable. However, saying, "I'll need to look into that further," not only preserves your credibility but also conveys a commitment to accuracy and excellence. A romantic case study: the power of reflective silence. Let's take an example from a real-life dynamic many can relate to: Sophie and Daniel. Sophie felt increasingly distant from Daniel and confronted him, saying, "You don't seem as invested as you used to be. Is this relationship even working for you?" Daniel wasn't sure how to respond. He cared deeply for Sophie but felt overwhelmed by personal stress unrelated to their relationship. Instead of responding defensively or hastily, Daniel chose silence. He acknowledged her concerns with a nod and said, "This is important to me. Can I take some time to think about what you've said?" Over the next few days, he reflected on his emotions, considering both his feelings for Sophie and the external pressures affecting his behavior. When they spoke again, he expressed his love for her while also sharing his struggles, leading to a deeper understanding between them. This moment of silence not only gave Daniel clarity but also strengthened their bond by demonstrating his respect for Sophie's concerns and his own emotional truth. Practical steps to use silence when unsure. Acknowledge the uncertainty. If someone seeks an immediate response and you're unsure, say, "Let me reflect on this and get back to you." This buys you time and signals that you take the matter seriously. Active listening. In moments of doubt, focus entirely on what the other person is saying. Sometimes, the clarity you need comes from their words if you give yourself the space to truly hear them. Pause and reflect. Silence doesn't have to last for days. It can be as brief as taking a few deep breaths before answering. These moments of pause can transform your response. The danger of filling the silence. In our fast-paced world, silence often feels awkward. There's an urge to fill it with words, even if they're not helpful or accurate. This is especially common in romantic relationships, where silence during a difficult conversation can feel uncomfortable. But filling the space prematurely can lead to misunderstandings or shallow reassurances that don't address the core issue. For instance, imagine someone asks, "Do you think we'll always be together?" A rushed answer like, "Of course," might seem comforting, but if it isn't rooted in genuine certainty, it could lead to disillusionment later. Silence, followed by thoughtful reflection, allows you to respond in a way that's both honest and meaningful. A broader lesson: silence builds trust. In all relationships, romantic, platonic, or professional, trust is the cornerstone. By practicing silence when unsure, you show that you value truth over convenience. This builds trust over time, as people come to see you as reliable and deliberate. Consider this wisdom from Epictetus: "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Listening more and speaking less not only fosters understanding but also strengthens connections. In uncertain moments, silence becomes an act of respect, for yourself, for others, and for the truth. Final thoughts on silence and uncertainty. Silence is not about evading responsibility or avoiding challenges. It's about creating space for clarity, honesty, and thoughtful action. Whether in love, friendships, or at work, embracing silence when unsure ensures that your words, when spoken, carry weight and meaning. By practicing this principle, you align yourself with the Stoic ideal of wisdom, demonstrating that sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. 4. When gratitude is more powerful than words. Gratitude is a universal language, yet its most profound expressions often don't involve words. Stoicism teaches us that heartfelt appreciation shines brightest when it is conveyed through actions and presence, rather than elaborate speeches. As Seneca wisely said, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." In a world where verbal thank yous can sometimes feel like formalities, silent gratitude stands out as an authentic, memorable act. Let's explore how this idea applies across love, friendships, family, and even professional life. Romantic relationships: the power of showing, not telling. Imagine this: you've been working long hours, and your partner quietly cleans the house, makes your favorite meal, and sets up a cozy movie night without saying a word. That's silent gratitude. It's not about a grand speech but the act itself that says, "I see you. I care about you." Consider another example. Claire forgets to wish her boyfriend, Mark, good luck on his big presentation. Feeling bad, she writes a long apologetic text. But Mark responds by sending her flowers after his meeting, saying nothing but leaving a note, "Thank you for always believing in me." His silent gratitude, wrapped in a thoughtful gesture, speaks volumes more than words. Silent gratitude can also be playful. Picture this: your partner surprises you with breakfast in bed. Instead of saying thanks, you whip up an over-the-top dinner with their favorite foods the next day, complete with a top chef judging ceremony. It's gratitude mixed with humor, a reminder that appreciation doesn't have to be serious all the time. Friendships, actions that speak louder. Gratitude in friendships often comes through small, thoughtful actions. Imagine your best friend helping you move, for the third time. Instead of another, "Thanks so much, I owe you," you invite them over a week later for a post-move survival party, complete with pizza, beer, and a playlist of their favorite songs. That's silent gratitude infused with fun. Humor can make gratitude even more impactful. Imagine you're in a group project, and one friend does the lion's share of the work. Instead of gushing over how grateful you are, you create a mock Employee of the Month certificate with their name on it and present it to them in class. Not only does this express thanks, but it also creates a shared memory. Family, quiet actions, big impact. Family is a domain where silent gratitude can shine. Let's say your parents have always supported your dreams, even when they didn't fully understand them. Instead of a lengthy thank you speech, you surprise them with tickets to their favorite concert or plan a day doing something they love. These actions reflect your appreciation far more deeply than words ever could. For a lighter example, imagine your sibling lending you their car when yours breaks down. Rather than simply returning the car with a thank you, you fill the tank, clean it inside out, and leave a note on the dashboard saying, "Thanks for saving the day." The surprise turns a mundane favor into a cherished moment. Workplace, gratitude without words. Gratitude in the workplace can set you apart, especially when conveyed silently. For instance, a colleague steps in to help you finish a project. Instead of flooding their inbox with a long thank you email, you buy them a coffee the next day with a simple note, "Couldn't have done it without you." Humor can work wonders here too. Imagine gifting your teammate who saved the day a tiny trophy that says, "MVP of the month," or a "Best Team Player" mug. These gestures show your appreciation while keeping the workplace atmosphere light and positive. Strangers and acts of kindness, universal gratitude. Silent gratitude isn't just for people we know, it works wonders with strangers, too. Think of the barista who perfectly remembers your complicated coffee order every morning. Instead of just saying thank you, you leave them a larger tip one day with a note, "For making mornings better." Or picture this: you're boarding a crowded train, and someone offers you their seat. Instead of over-explaining your gratitude, you simply smile, take the seat, and quietly acknowledge their kindness with a warm nod. That silent exchange creates a human connection without words. Practical tips for practicing silent gratitude. The power of presence: spend time with someone who matters without distractions. Put your phone away, listen intently, and let your focus say what words can't. Thoughtful gestures: from cooking someone's favorite meal to helping them with a task, let your actions show your appreciation. Unexpected surprises: surprise someone who has helped you with a small but meaningful gift or gesture, such as a handwritten note or something you know they'll enjoy. Final thoughts on silent gratitude. Silent gratitude transcends words. It creates moments that linger, feelings that resonate, and connections that deepen. Whether it's love, friendships, family, or even strangers, the best thank yous are often the ones unspoken but acted upon. As Seneca said, "He is most powerful who has himself in his own power." When you embrace silent gratitude, you demonstrate control over your emotions and create meaningful bonds that words alone cannot achieve. So, the next time you feel grateful, let your actions do the talking. It's a philosophy that's as timeless as it is transformative. 5. When silence amplifies presence. Sometimes, the most powerful statement you can make is not saying anything at all. Silence, when used thoughtfully, can enhance your presence, deepen your connections, and communicate volumes without uttering a single word. Marcus Aurelius urged us to focus on being rather than talking. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. In moments of difficulty, celebration, or introspection, silence becomes a gift. It creates space for others to feel heard, for emotions to settle, and for relationships to strengthen. Love and relationships, the power of silent support. Picture this: your partner has had a rough day at work. They come home, vent their frustrations, and you instinctively want to offer solutions or reassurances. But sometimes, the most comforting thing you can do is simply be there, listening, nodding, holding their hand. Silence, in this case, says, "I'm here for you. I understand." Consider moments of joy, too. Imagine sharing a stunning sunset with your partner or sitting quietly together after achieving a shared goal. In these moments, silence amplifies the connection, reinforcing the bond without the need for words. Friendships, being present without interruption. In friendships, silence can be a form of respect. Think of a friend pouring their heart out about a personal challenge. While it's tempting to jump in with advice or anecdotes, holding space for them to speak uninterrupted can be far more impactful. It shows you're fully present, not planning your response or steering the conversation toward yourself. For a humorous take, imagine this scenario: a friend is passionately telling you about their favorite TV show. You've never seen it, but instead of admitting that, you let them talk. Your silent nods and wide-eyed expressions convey interest, or at least don't ruin their enthusiasm. Sometimes, silence is just the right way to show you care, even when you're completely lost. Workplace dynamics, silence as a leadership tool. In professional settings, silence can establish authority and inspire confidence. Picture a meeting where everyone is frantically brainstorming, tossing out half-baked ideas. The silent person, the one who listens carefully and speaks only when they fully considered their response, commands the room. Their words carry weight precisely because they aren't trying to fill the silence. Leaders, in particular, benefit from strategic silence. Imagine a manager who allows a moment of quiet after asking their team a tough question. That pause signals they value thoughtful answers over quick reactions. It encourages deeper engagement and trust. Grief and loss, silent comfort as healing. When someone you care about is grieving, finding the right words can feel impossible. In these moments, silence often speaks louder than any expression of sympathy. Sitting quietly with someone, offering a comforting hug, or simply being present can provide more solace than any well-meaning advice. A touching example might be attending a funeral or visiting a grieving friend. Words often feel inadequate in such moments, but your silent presence can offer a sense of stability and love. Everyday life, when silence speaks volumes. Think of mundane but meaningful situations, like sitting silently on a long car ride with a close friend. The lack of words isn't awkward, it's comfortable. It reflects the strength of your bond, where nothing needs to be said to enjoy each other's company. Or imagine walking into a noisy cafe and locking eyes with someone you care about across the room. No words are exchanged, yet the mutual recognition and connection are palpable. Silence becomes a bridge, not a barrier. Practical tips for using silence to amplify presence. Active listening, in conversations, resist the urge to interrupt or immediately share your perspective. Let silence create space for others to feel heard. Physical presence, in moments of emotional intensity, be there without speaking. A supportive touch or a simple nod often communicates more than words. Pause to reflect, before speaking. Pause to gather your thoughts. This not only improves what you say but also enhances how others perceive you. Embrace shared quietness, Spend time with loved ones in silence, whether it's watching a sunset, walking, or simply sitting together. These moments build connection without words. Final thoughts on amplifying presence through silence. Silence is not a void, it's a canvas on which meaningful connections are painted. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that our actions, and the quiet strength behind them, often speak louder than any words. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. By practicing silence in moments of significance, you communicate presence, respect, and authenticity. In love, friendship, or work, this quiet strength amplifies your impact and deepens your relationships. 6. When you face personal failure. Failure is a universal experience, yet it often carries a sting that makes us question our worth, competence, or decisions. Stoic philosophy, however, teaches us to view failure not as an endpoint but as a necessary step in growth. Epictetus captures this wisdom succinctly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Failure offers a mirror to our lives, reflecting where we stand and where we can improve. Silence becomes an essential tool in this process, allowing space for introspection, learning, and, ultimately, resilience. Relationships, failing to meet expectations. In relationships, failure often takes the form of unmet expectations, whether it's forgetting an important anniversary, miscommunicating during an argument, or falling short in supporting a partner during tough times. In these moments, silence isn't about avoidance but reflection. Imagine forgetting a partner's birthday, realizing your mistake after they've expressed disappointment. Instead of bombarding them with excuses, pause. Let the silence guide your thoughts to empathy and accountability. After reflecting, a heartfelt apology and actionable steps to make amends can carry more weight than an immediate, defensive response. Workplace challenges, learning from mistakes. In the professional world, failure is inevitable. Missing deadlines, under-delivering on projects, or even receiving critical feedback during a performance review. It's tempting to react defensively or rush to fix things without fully understanding the problem. But silence grants you the opportunity to process the feedback and discern valuable lessons. For example, after a failed client presentation, rather than diving into self-pity or defensively explaining why it happened, you can take a moment of silence to journal your thoughts. What went wrong? What could you have done differently? This quiet reflection turns failure into a stepping stone for future success. Friendships, missteps, and misunderstandings. Friendships can also bear the brunt of our mistakes. Perhaps you unintentionally share something a friend told you in confidence or fail to show up during a critical moment in their life. Rather than immediately trying to justify your actions, pause. Silence allows you to acknowledge their feelings, reflect on your own shortcomings, and consider how to rebuild trust. Emotional turmoil, overcoming self-doubt. Failure often brings a chorus of self-doubt, making you question your worth or capabilities. In these moments, silence becomes a powerful ally. It gives you space to separate your identity from the failure itself. As Marcus Aurelius advised, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Instead of spiraling into negative self-talk after a failure, take time to sit in silence. Meditate on the fact that failure is a temporary event, not a permanent state. Examples of resilience through silence. Athletic pursuits. Imagine a marathon runner who doesn't finish a race due to injury. In the immediate aftermath, silence allows them to reflect on their training regimen and identify areas for improvement, rather than succumbing to frustration or defeat. Creative failures. A writer facing rejection from publishers can use silence to refine their work, ensuring the next submission aligns more closely with their vision. Practical tips for facing personal failure. Journal in silence. After a failure, write down what happened, your feelings, and actionable steps for improvement. This practice transforms abstract emotions into tangible insights. Meditate on growth. Visualize the failure as a stepping stone rather than a barrier. Envision how it contributes to your personal or professional growth. Take time before responding. If someone criticizes your work, resist the urge to defend yourself immediately. Instead, thank them for their feedback, reflect on it silently, and respond later with clarity. Conclusion on personal failure. Failure isn't the end, it's a turning point. Silence provides the space to process, learn, and grow from these experiences. When you approach failure with the calm, reflective demeanor of a Stoic, you transform it into a valuable teacher. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This mindset doesn't just make you more resilient, it empowers you to see every failure as an opportunity to build strength, wisdom, and character. Let's move forward to the next moment when silence can be your greatest ally. 7. When confronted by ignorance. Ignorance is a part of life, whether in relationships, the workplace, or casual encounters. Stoicism teaches that when faced with those unwilling to learn or understand, silence is often the wisest response. Epictetus observed, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Choosing silence in relationships. In romantic relationships, misunderstandings can arise from differing perspectives. For example, if your partner accuses you of being inattentive during a stressful time, a defensive argument may escalate the situation. Instead, remaining silent and revisiting the conversation later with clarity can diffuse tension and lead to understanding. Workplace challenges. In professional settings, arguing with a stubborn coworker often leads to frustration. Suppose a colleague dismisses your suggestions during a meeting. Instead of insisting, document your perspective and let the results speak for themselves. This approach saves energy and enhances your credibility when your foresight proves accurate. Social and family settings. Debating ignorance on social media or with family members can be draining. Silence often demonstrates respect without escalating the conflict. For instance, when relatives question your unconventional career path, let your success and happiness speak louder than words. Practical tips. Pause before responding. Decide if engaging will lead to understanding or merely fuel conflict. Redirect energy. Focus on actions that embody your values. Set boundaries. Step away from conversations that offer no growth or mutual respect. Final thought. When confronted with ignorance, silence reflects wisdom and restraint. It's a way to conserve your energy and focus on what truly matters. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." This quiet strength allows you to lead by example, inspiring change through actions rather than arguments. Silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a tool for clarity, strength, and self-mastery. Throughout this journey, we've explored 7 profound situations where choosing silence empowers us to navigate life with resilience and purpose. Whether it's calming emotional storms, diffusing provocations, or responding to ignorance, silence serves as a shield and a compass. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." This metaphor beautifully captures the power of silence. By refusing to engage in unnecessary conflicts or impulsive reactions, you cultivate inner peace and fortify your strength against life's storms. Key lessons. Emotional mastery. Silence helps us respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Strength through restraint. It demonstrates confidence and maturity in the face of provocation. Clarity over noise. Remaining silent allows space for reflection and better decisions. Leading by example. Actions often resonate louder than arguments, inspiring change without words. Practical reflection. As you move forward, consider this: where can silence add value to your life? Is it in relationships, work, or moments of self-reflection? Challenge yourself to identify one area where choosing silence can create harmony and growth. Thank you for spending this time with us at Victory Stoic. Your journey toward wisdom, strength, and clarity is inspiring, and we're grateful to be part of it. If this message resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know which of these lessons you'll apply in your life. Write, "Silence is strength," to commit to embracing this transformative practice. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insights inspired by Stoic philosophy. Let's grow together and build a community grounded in wisdom and resilience. As always, stay strong, stay stoic, and let silence guide you to a more meaningful life. See you in the next video.